Jim McIntosh is in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. JP. JP, where's JP from? Jim, I believe, is from Michigan. I think. Matt Downer in the house. Matt's from Michigan. Maybe I can't remember where Jim's from. He was on the last one. Okay. Hope your Sunday's going well. Today is the, fourth Sunday in No Simp September. Marcella is in the house. Good to see Marcella joining the live stream. A little windy up in northern Utah today, but I still got to ride the bicycle. JP in Australia. What part of Australia? And I hope you're doing okay over there with what we're hearing are pretty intensive lockdown strategies from the Popo in Australia. Good to have you. Jawara, the Venshin video had me very sad. Yes, it was he made 2 videos, I believe, this morning that I watched. Very sad, good, beautiful human being, only wanted to help men. And, everyone needs to shout out and watch his stuff. Very solid, down, salt of the earth guy. Check him out. Appreciate that. Jawara, don't quit, persevere. Guard those hearts and wallets. That's the topic today. No more Simp September. Suzanne Fleming is in the house. 2 ladies now watching. Love it. Hope you're doing well out there in Florida. Melbourne, Victoria. I don't know if you heard when I went on a date with a Australian gal from, I think she was from Melbourne. She's living in the States, been here 15 years. Nice gal, very attractive, but definitely had some she tried to outrad the rad, but didn't work. But nonetheless, had a great time with her. So we just hung out for a couple times and that was it. But good to have you and hope all is well. Karuna, your Michigan following is strong. Something about Michigan, something about the Flint. Maybe it's Eminem, you know what I'm saying? John Boston in the house. One of the originals. So why do we guard our hearts and our wallets? Well, a lot of times we get the idea. Hey, look, I've been foodie called. Geez, 5 years ago, I remember going on a date with a reporter for a television station. And to this day, she's still single, never married, and no kids. And we went out a couple times, but some of these gals are looking to get in your wallet. The 98 percenters. We talked about the 98 percenters that are looking to get in your wallet. And a lot of times a guy will take a gal out and he spends money, they have a good time, and then his heart starts opening up big time, and he doesn't guard the heart, and then she doesn't return his calls and wants to hang out with him again, and he gets in a spiral of depression. This is par for the course, guys. You have to remember, you have to guard your wallet and you guard your hearts for the 98 percenters out there. They're not interested in what you provide. They're interested in what you provide, but they're not interested in you as a person. You look good in all black. Makes me look skinnier, I think. Thanks for the comment, Marcella. Cali in the chat, Smasher 87. Cali, Colombia or California? That would be the question. So what about everybody else? What do you think? You guard your wallet, right? There's a lot of women in the world that are seeking to get resources. That doesn't mean they like you. They like what you provide. They like what you can bring to the table. They like you being the table until they want to become the table. This is not about putting down ladies. This is about understanding the mindset. There are good, decent ladies out there, but they're not part of the 98%. So men need to understand that. So if you're vetting and going out, I don't mind spending money, but I also understand the reality of it. If you think buying a dinner for a gal is going to have her fall in love with you or what have you, you're mistaken. Smasher, Callie in the chat said, it looks like you're from California. Beautiful life from Laguna Beach is in the house. Got a couple Californians in the house. Good to see you. Check out Beautiful Life's channel. A shout out to her. Never set the bar too high when first dating, and don't emotionally attach yourself. Don't quit, persevere. Wise words of wisdom right there, brother. Very good. These women want to date all these men because they like this part of this guy and the money of the other guy and the jerk of the other guy, and on and on and on. I think the JB just hit it on the head. They want everything in one. They want the alpha and the beta all in one. Guess what, guys? It doesn't work. Go watch the show Sex Life on Netflix. She marries a beta. The beta tries to turn into an alpha, and just the dynamics between them, it's a crazy relationship, but it's very worth checking out. Exactly what the JB, John Boston, talks about. Has anyone noticed that now almost 98% of TV commercials are geared towards women? David Castro. Yeah, no surprise. No surprise. Women spend 90% of the money in this world. They're 90% of the consumer. So it makes sense. If you were to make a business or build a business or create a product, I would seek a product that is geared specifically to women. Men typically don't buy things unless it's trucks, guns, action sports, video games, things like that. Men are very minimalistic. I would never make a product for men that is a goofball product. Accessorizing trucks or motorcycle, that's one thing. But if you really want to make quick money, make a product that women like. Something to do with anti-aging, something to do with tying them to the emotional, to something with their emotions. You'll make a ton of money. But you're right, David. They want your resources so they don't have to work. I think it's just part of programming, JP. But once you know that, you have a superpower. Daniel Bell from Tennessee. What part of Tennessee, brother? I've been to Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. I think Tennessee's a great place. Memphis was a little interesting, but good to have you in the chat. Hypergamy, a matter of time, Karuna. Well, our brains are geared different, and you're absolutely right about that. I tell every woman I meet in society, I'm a broke, bald bastard. The beach is packed in San Diego. Timmy Kramer, the forever bachelor. Guys, listen to Timmy Kramer, 56 years old, loving life, does what he wants, has the freedom, puts himself first, allows whomever he wants in his life, and goes on. John Markel, Rad, the whole thing about females are the table is actually true. They are the table. Just think of it. A table is just there, and the only purpose is to eat off of it. Well said, Mr. Markel from Brooklyn. Most relationships are basically adult adoption. They don't love you. Ooh, I like adult adoption. Love it. Daniel Bell coming in with some wisdom. The commercials all have a woman and children in the commercials, but never a dad. John Boston. Or they have a Homer Simpson type dad with the big old beer belly, goofy, dumb, Homer Simpson type. Yep. Juara, 90% of local malls set up for women. I remember taking my boys to the department store, and I said, look, tell me how much space is for the women. They said, Dad, most of this store is for ladies. I go, 90% typically of all department stores are geared towards women or women tastes. So if you're going to build a product for that particular demographic, because you'll have more success instead of selling to the 10% of men. Men only buy when they typically need stuff, not when they want stuff. That's the difference. But this also explains something. The 98% of women are not minimalistic. They're materialistic. And I don't say that derogatory. I say that because it's truth. It is facts, not fiction. We men are minimalistic. We are minimalists at heart. Absolute knowledge seekers in the house. Never be the beta. You will get sucked dry in a bad way, used in a bad way, and cheated on. After that, it could happen to an alpha too, but would end quick. Words of wisdom. Smasher 87 from Cali. Most women are fantasies. I don't invest my time in all that nonsense. You, my friend, have a superpower. Chattanooga. Ooh. Last time I was in Chattanooga, I flew into Atlanta, drove all the way to Chattanooga. It was about 95 miles. Oh, what was the hospital? Big hospital in Chattanooga. What the? It's on the tip of my tongue. I had to go and meet a couple guys, present a product to them. I think it starts with an E. Erlinger Hospital. I like Chattanooga. Had some great Thai food, Chattanooga. Good stuff. Cyberzoni in the house. Betas are gluttons for female masochism. Yes, betas still believe in the fantasy. That's the difference. They don't believe in the reality. The doghouse, you guys better protect your wallets and your hearts. I'm deciding whether to take a ride on my motorcycle or BMW, which I got last week, thanks to the disposable income that comes with the MGTOW lifestyle. The doghouse. Love it. What kind of motorcycle did you get? And where are you from? Notice how they don't fat shame females. They don't have big and tall for females. It's only for males. However, you don't see men complaining about this. Men are extremely minimalistic. Men really like to get into. Men do not discriminate like women do. How about that? It's unfortunate. If more men discriminated against undesirable women, maybe things would be different. If we discriminated against attention-seeking women, maybe things would be different. But we don't. Or the majority don't. But you're absolutely right, Mr. Markel. Every woman on Kevin Samuel's stream demanded $200K up, and yeah, and what do they look like? They're in all walks of life, and most of them are about 160, 170, and that's the deal. Erlinger, that's right. That's exactly right. Had a weird parking structure too. Would you believe guys look for sugar mamas as well? Many out there, beautiful life. I would agree. There are guys that look for the sugar mama potentials. And they want to be taken care of like little children. And some of these gals that get with those want, they have some sort of weird dynamic as well. They want to take care of them. Right? Beautiful life. That's true about the malls. How many women do you see at the Home Depot buying lumber? Men buy what they need. Women buy what they want and need for themselves. Well said, Mr. John Boston. Carl, nice tribute to Vention. A great guy. In fact, him and I had a couple of discussions over the years, over the last 2 years. Good dude. Very meant every wonderful creator. Brought experience, brought opinion, brought a dynamic to the red pill world that, look, anyone that doesn't listen to multiple creators is not wise. You should listen to lots of guys. It's a different flavor of vanilla. We all kind of say very similar things, but it's how it's said. And sometimes what I say might not impact someone, but what somebody else says does. And that's the whole goal, is to help others. And he's sitting on his bed bringing content and advice to others. Godspeed to Vention. Michael P., respect from Sydney. Just got out of a relationship. I walked away. The woman has issues. Probably better that you got out now, my brother. Good to have you here. My wallet is encoded in my DNA. It's highly sensitive. Yep. Your wallet is spent buying Gorp and REI products to do your hikes, Matt. Good for you. Women have the nerve to demand emotions and stuff. A few centuries ago, she'd be lucky to have anything to eat or a nice toilet. Well, I think you're right. I think there was a very different dynamic back then when women respected and supported men. Some say that it was different. I don't think everybody liked each other back then, but there was a respect for the provider and there was respect for the one that birthed the children. Did they love each other? Most likely not. Did they like each other? Probably not. But the respect and the trust and the loyalty was more important than any of this love garbage, right? Jerome Markel, all men must protect semen and signature. Jeez, is that not the truth in today's world? I can almost guarantee more women are vaccinated than men. Absolutely. David Castro. Well said, brother. Absolute knowledge. I banged an old lady for cash. No shame here. You got a transaction that benefited both, right? I'm a PhD, Kevin Samuels. He's got some good stuff. He calls it on the carpet. Protecting your wallet is an absolute must nowadays. Protect your freedom as well. Brad Pitt, all those kids, wonder if he's seen them in years. I'm Detroit area, by the way. Okay, Detroit. Brad Pitt wanted to save his marriage with that interesting female. And one of the best actors of all time on the set, the sexiest actor, movie star, worth $500 million. And guess what happened? She tossed him aside. We talked about that. Looks, money, and status didn't work for him. So hopefully he can see his kids. Average females don't like the average male. The more money a female makes, the more doors close. If any man says he cares about a female's money, degree, and career, they just want to get in the panties. We don't care about women's smarts, typically. We don't care about the degree. We want a co-pilot that's feminine, fit, cooperative, charming, that respects the man. If only women knew this, and if men really understood and they weren't DBs, there are men that are not good dudes. All right, I call men on the carpet as well. Lazy, complacent men that are dipshits. There's a ton of them out there. But you're absolutely right. We don't really care about those things that a woman thinks we should care about. We care about the feminine part. We care about how can she be a co-pilot? Does she scratch my back? Does she support me? Does she stand by my side? Does she follow my lead? Does she look good? Does she take care of herself? Does she want to take care of herself for me or for her friends? That's the difference. Well said, Jerome. Hello, Rad. How you doing? An ex that cheated on me and I ghosted her all of a sudden. Ignored her completely, even in public. Came back 1 year after accusing me of BS someone did to her car. No surprise. They all come back, brother. Yes, we love Vention. He is still posting videos, and keep sending him vibes. Mars, what's up to you, brother? The second I moved on, she came back trying to create problems. No surprise there. How can they sense that? Women have a sixth sense, man. I'm telling you, women are extremely intelligent when it comes to some sort of energy in the ether. Once you've moved on, they will call you back. Happens all the time. I started with Spetsnaz back in the day. Vention came along as the MRA movement began to disintegrate. Vention was one of a new breed called MGTOW, Beau Mer Debruschi. Yes, he was. He's been around for a long time. Very good dude. Salt of the earth. They need to have equity for ugly people. The government should give them plastic surgery. That's funny. Am I going to do a meetup in Vegas for your YouTube friend? I'm still planning on it in October. I haven't really done it, Beautiful Life, but I'm thinking either the 15th, the weekend of the 15th, or the weekend of the 22nd or 23rd of October. That's what I'm thinking. Is there any way Vention can pull through? I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems his kidneys are failing. He's in stage 4 or 5, and it's heartbreaking. But you know what? He's still living his own life. He decided not to follow a treatment and do it his own way. I mean, he chose his own way in the end. So good for him. Good for him for standing by his desire to follow his lead or the lead of his own thinking than anybody else. Good for that. Nearly all women are like that. Ooh, I like that. Nearly all women are like that. Not all women are like that. Nearly. Very well. I love it. That's right. There was a respect dynamic. Now females are out here juggling the salami with complete impunity. Promiscuity never did a female good. Promiscuity is not recommended. They can't handle it. Vention MGTOW is a true brother and a spiritual father. We should follow his example like permaculture. Matt Downer, well said, brother. Salute to Vention. Back in the day, it was frowned upon to get divorced. Society had certain morals and values. Don't quit, persevere. Couldn't have said that better. It's not funnies in the house. What's up with you, brother? I always viewed Vention as that cool uncle that had some stuff to show you to make your life easier. What was his tagline? Don't ever marry. Feminine women are so sexy, even if she's ugly, David Castro. A feminine woman seeks a masculine man. My wallet is very protected, says Lord Spawn. Good to have you in the chat, brother. Well done. Taking back an ex is like bringing the garbage off the curb into your home. Beaumare de Bruchy. Well said. Teddy Boy Smith from the UK. Good to have you, brother. Fellow Simps in the house. Vention MGTOW is a true soldier and our hero. Yeah, it's sad to see our brother like that, right? But good for him. He's going out, bringing knowledge continuously. For the record, I don't have to guard my wallet like that because I'm not making that much, but I'll guard my heart. Yeah. Guard your heart and your wallet. Guard your heart and your wallet. When you lie, females buy. Look at the economy. 90% of the consumer base is female for a reason. Females are much easier to sell to because feelings, advertisers know this and understand this. Yes. Yes, they do. Remember, men are logical, or our brains are more logical. Women are more emotional. That's not fat fiction. That's fact. Let's slam those simps. Don't get married. Shout out to Vention. For some reason, if you get the upper hand, should we feel sorry for women or no clemency? Young Mellow 2055. I don't think you should feel sorry for anybody. You should just live the life that you want to live. We all make choices in this life. We have to live with those choices. Brad, it's amazing how guys like Coach Greg Adams talks about his experience and backs up with data. And Kevin Samuels has the data and brings women on to validate what he's saying. The women from 20 to 70 are all the same. Well said. Data, man. I mean, hey, 80% of women file for divorce. Do they really believe in love? Now, I'm not going to say all of those 80% of women. Some had to do it. Maybe there was abuse. Maybe there was potential issues of safety. Chronic cheaters from the men, douchebag men that couldn't take care of everything. I get that. But for the most part, a lot of them divorce. The majority divorce because I'm not happy. He's controlling. I'm bored. I need to find myself. Eat, Pray, Love for 300 Trebek. My hardware wallet is highly protected. I'd rather crap in my hands and clap than get back with an ex, says Lord Spawn. Never take an ex back. Check out Vention MGTOW. It's not funny. He's one of our brothers. Red pill knowledge. It's like uncle to most. Some women are just 304s, incarcerated. From a BBC documentary. The majority, guys, the promiscuity is something in the last 30 years that's just out of control. In the last probably 5 years, it's exponential. What percent body fat should I be aiming for to get my face to look its best? 10 to 12%. If you get a lot of salt out of your diet, salt will bloat and expand as well. Fast, just do a lot of fasting. A wedding ring doesn't stop a cheater. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. What do you think of the black pill, Teddy Boy? There's just so many. I run my life based on how here's the deal. I mean, at the end of the day, we label this foundation as red pill. We label it as MGTOW, men going their own way. I decided once I stumbled across Big John and the early guys that I would live my life putting my purpose first. Now, part of that purpose was my children, but I decided that I would go after and seek my dreams, and I would do that the way I wanted to do it. I wouldn't allow conditioning and programming to enter. Some people didn't like that. I allow women to enter my life when I decide to have them. If I want to see them, I will see them. If I want to be with them, I will be with them. If I don't, I don't. That's how I live it. I don't follow some philosophy where I become a fatalist. Now, I understand why people do that, but that's not me. Even in the Bible, God warns men about the bad women. Michael P. Check out Corinthians with Paul. Thanks for your answer, Rad. By the way, I'm on semen retention 45 days. I feel like a Superman and have massive choosing signals. Good for you, brother. That is not an easy task, especially with testosterone pumping through our veins. No Simp September for 300 Trebek. I suspect that one of the contributing factors to the economic slowdown is the undeclared MGTOW. The cooftop men do not rely on women for validation and entertainment. Just my 2 cents. I'm going to agree with that statement, brother. I'm going to agree with that well. There's no point getting attached to women. What's worse, riding the simp train or the salami subway? The simp train lets off at the salami subway. Be very careful. Marcella N. Simps are the reason why a lot of women think they are 9s and 10s when they are average at best. Well said. Well said. Ask Marcella what she thinks of weak men. Got 3 48-hour fast under my belt. How do you feel, Lord Spawn? And how is your gut? How is your skin? You got to have energy. You got to be feeling great. That's right there, at least 10 to 15 pounds just on that. Plus the amount of health and energy you've got. Good for you. I got sick and was not working. My ex filed for divorce and didn't even tell me. Ooh. Why is that just not surprising, JB? It's an epidemic and the attorneys tell them to file and they try to catch the man off guard. Happens all the time. Pimps and drug dealers get 30-year to life. Meanwhile, some people that delete others get off with 25 or less. The system is tweaked. I would agree, brother. Absolute. First one sucked ass. The other 2 got, yeah, the more you do the fast, the better. 80 to 90% of females only desire 10 to 20% of men. Those 10 to 20% of men cheat often. Females believe all men cheat because they only pay attention to that 10 to 20%. This is why most females will become lonely. I would agree. The logistics and the statistics don't favor women. The selection the selection dementia that they have now is not boding well for them. That is why you hit it on the head. The data proves it. So guys, if you want to get with women, be 10 to 20% of the men. It's as simple as that. The data proves it. Get healthy, get a good, better wardrobe. If you want to do this, be the 10 to 20%. I've seen 5'5", 5'4" guys at the gym with hot chicks that are like 5'9". It's not hard. And they're not, they're average 5'6". They got some muscles. Their teeth is white. The teeth's white, but confidence. So be the 10 to 20. Duran is spitting truth there, brothers. It's interesting that whenever I bring up the subject of divorce around women, they all disagree with the facts and statistics. Timmy Kramer. Because they live in a world of delusion. The forever bachelor spitting truth. I'm quite slim, but have approximately 23% body fat. Now you got to start lifting muscle, Teddy boy, and fast. Guys, get your life in step with your personal values. Good times will follow. Don't place your validation outside of yourself. It becomes a superpower. Make good decisions. Making good decisions becomes a superpower. Correct. When your head is clear, not emotionally, in chaos because you're trying to chase a woman or trying to fix a woman or trying to fix a relationship, you can see clearer. Robert A. in the house, good to see you, brother. Happy Sunday to you. We are just talking about guarding our wallet and our hearts. From the 98 percenters, Victoria Campbell, you're right. Marcella, the Simps tell the bush pigs that they're beautiful. We got some ladies in the house tonight, 4 of them. I've been learning about Black Pill this week. Black Pill says women are only interested in looks. Teddy Boy Smith, I don't know how much I believe that. I would say there's probably a percentage of women that only seek looks. Sure, I know a gal right now that's only seeking looks, and she ends up with idiots. Look, I seek looks first. Simple as that. You got to look good. You got to look good. From there, I bet. If I do not go after brain power and success and charm it's all visual for me at first, and then I go from there. Now, some women are like that, but a lot of women, I've seen really attractive women with guys. I'm like, what in the F is going on? My sons came over on their mom's day to go work out with me. That was cool. Boys need their father, Daniel Bell. I took my boys today to sushi, Daniel. One's 20, one's 16. We had a great time. We talked boy talk, great talk, and good. I'm glad that their mother allowed them to be with their father. Perhaps she got the memo. To be honest, the first fast had me exhausted. Of course it did. The second one, I had a burst of energy in the first 24 hours. Then for the rest, I was back to normal. Guys, you can start fasting. You just start off slow. You can't run a marathon the first time you put on a pair of sneakers. Black Pill says average and ugly men cannot get chicks. Disagree. You could be ugly and have a lot of money. You could be attractive with no money. You could have popularity with no money and a little heavy. You still get it. It all depends. I don't know if I believe in that, Teddy, but some people do. I don't believe in that. Same gender validation bias will lead women along like the paid Pied Piper right into a river. The new way of thinking is not boding well for women. Bomer. I hate Sims. They're a reason these females have such an inflated ego and think they're more valuable than they truly are and can't take the truth. They even lie to other girls. Get on a dating app and be a girl and watch how many simps swipe on you. Then you will understand the reality of women today, where however attractive, young, fit, heavy, fat, ugly get, the attention they get from men is astronomical. Good for you, Lord Spawn. Your third fast was great. Keep on doing it. Take a day off between those 48s and eat some good food. Michael P., they're satanic beings by nature. Well, let's just say 98% of them let's just say they don't seek love, companionship, and happiness and friendship with those men. They seek other things, which would probably filter into that statement. This past weekend, my uncle friend invited his colleagues to his stepdaughter birthday. Some of his colleagues were talking about how he's simping over his wife who cheated on him. Any man that's been cheated on, as I have, my heart goes out to you. However, we do not hate on the person for doing that. We only understand that it happened, and that is female nature. And you decide, I will not allow myself to ever be in that situation again. You don't have to like the person. That could be your spouse or your ex. But you have to realize that was female nature. Somehow, some way, she decided to find another suitor instead of you. You could have done something, or it was all her. Jeff Bezos and Brad Pitt getting divorced, and their women moved on. Do you think that I have high hopes knowing that? See you later, Matt. You're right, absolute. I know a woman in her late 40s trying to lock down a guy, and what it comes down to is she thinks she's 25, trying to find a 30-year-old guy. I see a lot of this, and the guys are having a good time. A lot of guys are waking up to the 98%ers. They're realizing that why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? Translation, I don't like the fact that you acknowledge uncomfortable truths about female nature. You hold me accountable for those actions. I can't get one over on you. Jerome Markel laying it down in Chinatown. He's controlling because I won't buy a $90,000 Land Rover. He's abusive. Marcella N., I've been told I've dated ugly guys. To me, they are hot because they have a good sense of humor, confidence, and most importantly, they are masculine. Listen to Marcella. She is an attractive gal, guys, that dates guys based on what? Humor, confidence, and are masculine. Lord Spawn, I've had to tighten my pants and my shirts aren't stretched over my gut. They hang loose, which is nice. Also, can hammer my friends with benefit longer than my cardio will let. Well, there's always a benefit. You have more energy. Absolute since created the Rise of the Landwell. Rise of the Landwell for 300 Trebek. Teddy Boy Smith, do your boys know you're on YouTube? I never told them. Maybe. I would deem Beyonce as high-value female, not because she's Beyonce, it's because she has Jay-Z. She understands the uncomfortable reality of dealing with a high-value man. She'll have to share him. What is Jay-Z worth? $1 billion? she's probably got to be worth 250 million. So again, that'd be like a guy making $1 million a year versus a woman making 250,000. He is higher up. If she was making $1 billion, well, look at Adele, the singer Adele. She was making a shit ton of money. She married a guy that made anything, and she divorced him. It doesn't really work the other way for the majority. There might be a situation where the gal makes more and she's in love with a masculine man that doesn't make a lot. There's an exception to every rule, but for the most part, you're absolutely right, Jerome. Fast money Tuesday, eat Wednesday, fast. Yep, there you go. Enjoy the weekend. Just take a day off 1 or 2 days a week. Rolo Tomasi says girls have a boyfriend and girlfriends. If you're not smashing her, then your girlfriend, then you're her girlfriend. Ah, you're right. You're right. Thoughts on women mowing the lawn? Not a fan of it. I believe that's men's work. That's just me. I don't care if anyone disagrees with me, but I have to say this. If I ever see a female playing in the NFL, I will stop watching. I think most would. I think we would watch it just to see what happens, but I can't imagine it'll go well. I can't imagine. Just the physical strength of a man versus the physical strength of women it's very different. Most guys are very scared to tell a female what they want because the things that make a female attractive are politically incorrect. Correct. You know what the favorite thing to say to a woman is? No. And if you don't believe me, try it. John Boston, good job on fasting. How much you lose to Lord Spawn. If only looks matter to women, explain romance novels. Absolutely, Mr. Daniel Bell from Tennessee. Lord Spawn, the land wells exist because men allow them to be, and they get attention. I have seen larger women get with alpha type guys, right? Jawara, my own sister's out there in the streets. My sister at one point was a 304. She settled down right now, but once a 304, always a 304. Would you agree with that statement, Jawara? Exceptions don't make the rule. Exceptions don't make the rule for 300 Trebek. Love it. NBA players, actors, musicians getting divorced. Great. 10 to 20 years in their marriage. What happened to Tyson Chandler? Greg Adams just did something on that. 16-year marriage. If it can happen to him or them, it'll definitely happen to non-famous people faster. Again, guard your heart and guard your wallet and be very, very smart. McTowski back in the chat. Always a pleasure to see McTowski. Seen it happen, but very, very rare. Correct. A female spends years changing the man, then wonders what happens to the guy she fell in love with. For the most part, men pretty much stay consistent. We fluctuate. And I'm not bringing in the bipolar or the manic or the whacked out dudes because there's a lot of them out there, especially today with the younger generation being raised on screens. The anxiety levels through the roof. But men seem to be pretty consistent. I remember my divorce attorney said, you aren't just married to her, you are married to multiple versions of her. And he was right. And it wasn't that it was a bad thing to say. She had changed a lot with, as a fiance, as a girlfriend, as a wife, as a newlywed, as a mother, as a new mother, as a mother with teenagers. So it is true. She wonders what happens because she became a different version of herself. I agree. They have male cheerleaders in the NFL. Dude, I listen to SEC Guy. He's a guy that talks about the SEC football. He says, cheerleading is for women. So is jams and preserves are for women. I have 3 men who are house husbands because their wives are high earners and it makes financial sense for the woman to work. Well, there's an exception to every rule. I would not want to be that way. I was not raised to have a woman take care of me, but that's me. At times it does make sense, but there's also a imbalance in that dynamic because now she is a provider, which biologically, she's not programmed to be the provider. There's a decent looking guy in my building with a near 300-pounder. Jeez. More cushion for the pushing. Lots to love is what we call it. Limit the attention you give to a woman. Give attention to a woman when she does the things that you desire her to do, which is to be a co-pilot, cooperative, feminine, submissive, loving, giving. That's when you give attention. If it makes sense, then do it. Kids need their fathers. Damn right they do. And why doesn't the court get it? Yeah, big agenda behind that. Maybe absolute knowledge seekers and I should do a live stream next week about why the courts have routinely given custody to women and mothers. What the agenda is behind that, because there is an agenda. If a woman grows old with me, I'd remember the days when her cans weren't saggy. I will never marry. You are a smart man. Hockey path in the house. I never date fat chicks, but I bagged a few, and for some reason, I blew my load the fastest with fat chicks. Whoa. Maybe it was the pressure of the panis. Who knows? Women got the multiple personalities. Yeah? And today it's out of control worse now because of all the head meds and the attention on the screens. Mm-hmm. Things are so bad that the 200-pounders think they are thin. Ooh, see ya in the house. Good to have you, brother. 100%. If a man is a scapegoat for female oppression, what does it say about the mother who raised him? He took on the qualities of his mother, which most guys did. We were raised by mothers. Our Sunday school teachers were probably the majority women. Our elementary teachers, most of our teachers, and until we got to high school, I had more male teachers, but for the most part, the first grade 1 through 8th was predominantly women, and so if you read No More than Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover, you'll get, you'll figure it out. That hat is amazing, Fox Saint. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It was made for me for a gift. Rebel against defeat. We should get some of these if you guys like them. More cushion for the pushing, but come on, too much is too much. Not a fan of the heavies. That's just me. Rad is no fan of the heavies. Rad is a fan of a fit woman that is cooperative, feminine, submissive, giving, respectful, honors, doesn't get on social media, is not seeking attention, does not have head meds. Now how many have I eliminated from there, right? If you're skinny in today's society, people look at you like you're sick. They say in Texas, 1 of every 3 women are obese. We live in a world of, look at DoorDash, for hell's sake. You don't even have to get out of your goddamn couch to get food. It is convenient, though. Hog slaying and valid way to bust a nut. Fat chicks are practice. Women want 6'6", 6 feet height, 6 inch wiener, and 6-figure salary. Do you know what the reality of that scenario is? Number one, there's only 11% of men worldwide that are over 6 foot. Over 6'2", it's like 4%. Those that make 6 figures, that's 1%. I mean, check them out in 5 years where they're at, Teddy boy. How do you show you're financially secure, not a gold digger, without giving off bragging or masculine energy? Is this Joy Austin? Joy Austin, where are you from? This is what I know. I know a gal that makes a lot of money. She's a mortgage gal. She would get on dating apps, and I told her to quit saying this. She would say that she could take care of any man. A lot of guys liked her, but a lot of guys would not stick with her because they did not like that provider mentality. This is what I would say. If you are financially secure, you say nothing about your finances. You say nothing about where you live, what you own, vice versa. Send me an email, rebelagainstdefeat@gmail.com. We can discuss more. Men do not give a F what you have, how much money you make, how many degrees you have. They want a submissive, co-pilot that wants to be rowing the canoe with them. Now, the man will be in the back of the canoe doing 80% of the work and wants a woman up front doing 20% of the work and being his co-pilot. But send me an email, rebelagainstdefeat@gmail.com. Absolute sounds like Absolute likes the thick ones. Jerron, females are encouraged to rush men into signing a marriage contract because they will be rewarded, incentivized breaking it. Don't sign the contract or get married. Words of wisdom. Marriage laws are so harsh to men, seem like they have been implemented to discourage men from getting married, period. Why not vote to change marriage law back? Ain't going to happen. But agree with that statement. There's a 1% to 2% of women that stand by their men. I've met them. I've seen them. Some are even on our chat. But the 98%, I do not recommend. And that is why I do not recommend marriage or cohabitation or any sort of long-term goofball garbage relationship that brings no value to the table. So you've got to really think about it. There are out there, I met them, but you should also take those serious. And women should vet the men too. Texas, don't mix with Texas. Joy, what part of Texas? Love Texas. Learn how to cook like a chef, understand money and debt, and always stay physical. Timmy Kramer, look at Timmy Kramer, 56 years old right there. Guy's doing his own thing. He's going to live his life free as a bird, loving life, meeting wonderful people, inviting people into his life who he wants, going where he wants. That is true wealth, friends. True wealth is not sitting in a mansion with $15 million, having health issues, and still simping. True wealth is freedom and peace. And you are the captain of your own ship. Think about it. Was on a business trip. Fatty sits next to me with her friend, makes small talk, then goes on to tell me that I should offer them a drink, calls me cheap after I ignore them. Miktowski, put that as a warm fuzzy on your belt. That, my friend, does not. That gets an award. That gets a trophy right there. He calls you cheap. I love it. Do you agree that if a woman calls you honey, darling, babes, then she sees you as a simp? I think a woman that tells you those things in the beginning is not a good sign. None of that grinding shizzle either. These 304s have to bounce that up and down. None of that half non-enthusiastic, only 100% effort, genuine, no starfish. Well, nobody wants a starfish, that's for sure. We want true passion. Marcella, if you don't look like a Melania Trump, then don't expect to bag a millionaire. Some women are delusional. Ooh, that's valuable information right there, guys. Valuable information. There are, again, this is all I say, and people even say I'm too generous. 1% to 2% of women are generous enough to potentially hunker down with. However, I would probably seek a non-civil marriage, more of a private religious ceremony, if that's possible. I know some states are looking at that now. They're removing the state out of it. But there you go. Good words of wisdom from Marcella. She has to balance absolute knowledge. Jerome Markel, 100% never sign a contract with a person who is paid to break it. Ooh, love it. Kaioke, I hope I said that right. Big fan, buddy. Thanks for being here. Tell me where you're from. They really don't care how dumb they sound. Their emotions are facts. They can never do no wrong in their eyes. Well, the majority of women are raised by fathers who, I was one of them. I had a daughter at 5. When she'd cry and have her tears, it kind of, pulls on your heartstrings, and you realize that it's done for getting out of potential punishment. But I think a lot of women grew up that way. They could cry, and their daddy would allow them to have less of a treatment than their sons. Women just want a guy taller than them, so 6 feet sounds good. Must be taller than the woman. That's all they want. Daniel Bell. A lot of women think like that. The only way to fix crap isn't by voting because it's rigged. 100% winning a civil war is the way to fix it. I've always said there's only one option left, and it ain't at the polls. Or it's not at the voting booths. I'll keep it at that. Kaioke, an Australian captain here. Good to have you. How is it going in Australia? Hey, Rad, I'm about to turn 22 next month. What did you do during your birthdays in your 20s? I had some fun times in the early 20s. But geez, that was like 94. That was concerts, hanging out. Saturday Night Live was really big back then. Now it's crap. Just hang out with your buddies. Hang out with your buddies. Be by yourself. McTowski laying it down in Chinatown. Scooters are like fat chicks. They're fun to ride, but you don't want your friends to see you on them. I've used that line multiple times. Would you consider chivalry to be a female privilege? Rad. Yes. Well, that's what they think. They think it's a privilege. No, they don't think it's a privilege. They think it's a right. Would you agree? Men are expected to pay for the date. Men are expected to approach the female. Men are expected to ask her out. That's part of chivalry. Females don't typically do that for men. No. The dynamics of dating are completely changing now. Pablo de Gregore Oficial, loving the content. Good to have you, brother. Pablo has been in the chats multiple times. I watched an interesting video about Trump's daughters. Ivana is much better looking than Tiffany. Ooh, Ivana's hot. But Tiffany's mom, Maples, was hotter than Ivana's. I wasn't a fan of Ivana. I think Marla, is it Marla Maples? I think she's attractive, and I think Ivana is extremely gorgeous gal. I think everybody here would think that, even at her age right now. One female told me she loved me over a text, never met her in person. Action. How many guys do you think she said she loved over text? Smasher. I haven't experienced non-family female generosity. Let's see. I haven't experienced non-family female generosity. Shine on me in many, many years. T-Talks, L-back. Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Well, they don't really reciprocate, right? It's usually the man has to do all the work. Good to have you, T-Talks. He's absolutely right, guys. Very, very few women will reciprocate or even be generous with you. Lockdown galore, buds, striving for free lives again. Okay. Yeah, I've heard we've been hearing some crazy stuff about Australia, about what they're doing, about not taking it. You have to be at your phone. If you're not there within 15 minutes, they send the Gestapo out. I mean, it's just crazy. Be safe out there. Be safe. Put on some INXS or some hoodoo gurus in the meantime. Even those BDSM contracts don't mean diddly squat. They get thrown out and you're stuck in court. 100%. Time for me to get food. See you later, Lord Spawn. Do you like to draw? Me. Do you like to draw? Her. Yeah, me, because I put the D in raw. Ah! He's on like Donkey Kong. Some people were telling me how the 90s were when they were in their 20s. They told me that the entertainment media was great and was the last golden age of cinema. I would agree with that. Again, I don't understand what it's like to be a 20 to 30-year-old in today's world in the dating market, because it would frustrate the hell out of me if I had testosterone pumping in my veins, knowing that I listen to my sons. I listen to guys on the channel that are young, and they're just telling me it's a shit show. And I see it even in the 40s and 50s and 30s, 40s, and 50s of gals, what it's like. It's just every woman's a princess, or 98% of them are. You cannot deal with that. 98% of them want this man that doesn't exist. So they're going to be single and lonely. You get down on one knee to propose and one knee for BLM. What it is about submissive acts like those sickles. Submission. It's called the pedestal. It's an invisible pedestal, Teddy Boy Smith. Apologize for my butchered language. Nah, I got what you're saying, T-Tex. All good, brother. Did you see that fight with that pink hair man versus that 6-foot chick? Was that the guy that the UFC fight where he the hybrid fought the woman? I think that's what you're referring to. Well, dating is hell, Michael P. And I think, yeah, the 90s was great. No mention of transgender or alphabet soup and all this other woke crap. Woke, go broke. Is that what Trump said? The golden triangle. Diet, sleep, tetrad. Diet, sleep, exercise, low stress. You decide as a man listening what are you going to allow in your life? Now, you could have been in a relationship where it caused frustration, and men and women, again, should be thinking about this. Who do you allow in your life? What do you allow in your life? When you become the pilot of your ship or your captain of your plane, pilot of your plane, captain of your ship, your life will get better because now you can allow the people in your life that are going to improve your life, that are going to be there for you. If you would choose to have them, and then you put your purpose ahead of everything. It's really that simple. All these pill definitions make no sense. Just go your own way. If you decide to entertain a female that understand the risks and the rewards, the flags to look for, the green flags and the red flags. There are some green flags and there are a ton of red flags. But you've got to be smart, and you need to think about you as being on your purpose. Everything else will fall into place once you understand it, and take your red pills every day. Funny how females don't like you bothering in public, but yet bother you at work. I think it's just a hive-minded thinking, brother. Bare knuckle brawling is a new hype. Didn't get much more savage than UFC in the first few years. Ooh, the UFC in the first few years. Now it's, they got to babysit all the different moves, and there's a lot of rules now. It was very savage in the early 90s, wasn't it? Kids are being brainwashed to question their gender. Teddy Boy Smith. Well, it's become acceptable if a little boy thinks that he can wear a dress, and then the therapist says, well, he needs to become a girl, when they shouldn't make any decisions like that unless they've had 10 plus years of counseling. And still, it's just a dysphoria. Attention is like crack to a woman, correct? My friend was telling me how females on YouTube are bashing men in the MGTOW. In my opinion, we need some understanding on both sides. Well, you're right. Yeah, absolutely right. We've gone so far that everything's lopsided. The woman now is central and purpose to a man's life. That was never like that in the early years. Within the last 40 years, it became like that. In fact, in the last 10 years, it's been, exponentially grown to that. And guess what? It's given power to a dynamic that shouldn't be there. Women want a man that's on purpose. They want a confident man building himself and his legacy and his purpose. They want to be complementary, not central. And it's completely whacked out now. So you're right, Mars. Women overvalue themselves. They're legends in their own minds. They're damn right. You never leave or abandon the people you love. You always abandon the people you were using. Alan Jones, radio jockey. Well said, brother. Chris Keller in the house. Good to see you. He's another youngster. T-Tox, listen to the Knack, Ma Sharona. And good girls don't on YouTube Music of the Day. 1979 was long ago. Boy, the 70s had some good music. I just saw that Billy Idol came out with a new CD. And Billy Idol, I've always loved Billy Idol, and even when he was a Generation X. But he was pretty good in the late 70s and early 80s with his band. There's people on GoFundMe asking for money so they can have, oh, geez. No, don't. Nah, that's ridiculous. Why is it when a female is on her cycle, she's at work, she controls her emotions, attitude, she'll get fired, however, when around family or her boyfriend? I think we just accepted it, Jerome. I think, and a lot of gals will say they're on their cycle, just nonchalant, big deal. I always, when my wife was on her period, she would tell me, on my period, I'm going to be a biatch. I would just leave the house. Nothing I could do. McTowski, you're absolutely right, brother. I saw a video of a woman harassing a man because he wouldn't buy her a drink. Marcella, Zero Man. It's out of control. Again, my number one red flag is if the woman has does not respect the father, does not honor the father, does not have a good fatherly relationship. Number two, social media. If a woman is consumed by social media, she will seek attention, and the attention comes by physical and by emotions on posts and so forth, which leads to head meds, which leads to promiscuity, which leads to alcoholism, which leads to debt. Those are my 2 red flags. Fatherly issues and social media issues. The amount of attention that's being sought because women have so much attention on social media leads to so many catastrophes, physically and personally in their lives. Dancing with Myself. That was not a Billy Idol song. It was actually a Generation X song, which was his first band. Second band. Came out in 1979, I think. I've got the CD. And then when Billy Idol went solo, his first solo, he was Whiplash Smile or I think it was Whiplash Smile. That was Dancing with Myself, the first single. But it was actually a Generation X song. In fact, Generation X had it on their CD. It's interesting how he took that from the band and made it his own. Was getting close to a gal at work, realized I was getting too attached, so I've taken a step back. Good. Please don't mix the pen with the company ink. Whatever you do, it never works. In my opinion, this gender war will end of Civil War or World War III. I'm 100% convinced that there's only one option left, guys, and it's not through voting. Women get to manipulate the scenario 100% of the time. Cry victim the minute a man vocalizes his standards or stands up. C.J. Wilkins. Well, I'll give you some advice. Try to never get to that point in the beginning. Always be up front. Lay your boundaries down. But it's hard. Most men can't do that. Good to have you, CJ. I recommend listening to Andrew Tate, Very Red Pill. I did. I listened to one of his stuff a couple days ago. Tattoos for me are a red flag. I'm not a fan of tattoos. I can tolerate a tattoo if it's out of sight. For the most part, I am no fan of them. Most women put tattoos all over their bodies in the most ridiculous spaces. And I'm not a fan. Did you see that stupid Matrix 4 Resurrections trailer? I did. Don't know what to think about it. I do like the Matrix. I will watch the 4 just because I like the Matrix series, although the directors are now, they turned into females, the 2 brothers. So it'll be interesting to see what the Matrix is about. Supposedly, the original Matrix was not about opening eyes to reality. It was about their transition, those 2 brothers, into who they are today. Weird. Fox on the Run by the Sweet. T-Tox. Laying it down in Chinatown. God, who else? Nazareth, Blue Oyster Cult, Deep Purple, Boston. Good stuff. 70s had some good music. And bell bottoms. The bigger the hoop, the bigger the garden tool. Absolute. Well said. Many women at work will use you for free masculine energy and attention. Absolutely. These women wouldn't look your direction outside. That, my friend, is truth. For 300, Trebek. Thoughts on women you're dating who lock their phones? No thought, just reality. They are hiding something. Don't quit. Look, hooking up with a female coworker is not a great idea. Yes, sir. Colored hair, tattoos, and wearing no bra, feminazi. And a bull ring. Don't forget the bull ring. And like a starfish tattoo on her finger. The whole project of marriage feels like it's a thankless job. It really does. I think very, 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 very few marriages last and are worth it. And you just got to be careful. I wonder if they do a good job with Blank Plasty. If you would think she was with way less people, probably, to be honest. It's a sick world we live in, absolute. The Wachowski sisters now, right? I will never date a woman for the same job as I work. Too much trouble, in my opinion. Knew some guys who messed around and with women at their jobs, and some of those females had boyfriends. Well, at one point, Rad was working right after he got divorced, and I was in an office setting, and one of the gals, extremely attractive Latina, she wanted to hang out with me, and there was a part of me that was like, man, I would love to hang out, but I said nope. Didn't matter how attractive she was. Nope. Ain't gonna happen. Wouldn't be prudent. Nope. Stay away. Been through a roller coaster at work with 2 different chicks. You got to cut that off. You do not want to, unless you're willing to have your job. A woman can go to HR and you're screwed. A woman could go to HR. You could look at a woman differently in the lunchroom, and she could think that you're harassing her, and she'll go to HR. You've got to treat women at work as coworkers, only directness. Never ask a woman how they're doing. Let them ask you. Respond cordially. We just do the Pence rule. Bell bottoms and Chippewas and tough skins. See what else? I remember my parents had a car, had an 8-track player too. Remember 8-tracks? They're like remember they were like VHS tapes. These kids don't even know what an 8-track is. Don't get your meat where you make your bread, says Sia. Well said, brother. Many women ride the CC at work. You don't want to be the sucker at work who settles down with her. You'll be the butt of every joke. Yeah, stay away. Don't get your honey where you make your money. I love it. Even if you're the boss, the woman that worked for you can probably find a way to make your life. It's never worked. Absolutely right. It's never worked. If you get with a gal at work, it does not end well. Never dip the pen in the company ink, Robert A. That should be first and foremost of anybody. So if anybody's texting and saying, Eric, email me, I like this gal at work. No, don't even send me the email. You know the rules. Never dip your pen in the company ink, no matter how charming it is. No, you keep it business, professional only. When a man looks after his fiancée, he is called stingy. When a man defends his garden, he is called a troublemaker. Criticizing you is what society used to get your stuff without resistance. You know, it's better to be silent than to be vocal, and to put yourself first. This isn't the 1930s or the 40s. We live in a world that loves legal court issues. We live in a world where the man is proven guilty, is guilty the moment you don't act the way you should for her. You've got to be very, very careful. I can't stress it enough. Don't give me any sort of baloney, Joni, that this gal's different. You need to be extremely smart. And if you do find a gal that you think is wonderful, then she's got to pass the red flags. Right? I'm not anti-relationship. I'm not anti-woman. All right. I'm not a guy that's saying stay away from women. There's other content creators that say that. That's not me. I don't live that way. I will entertain and invite in my life a woman if I choose to. It's really that simple. And when they do, I vet them. Have I encountered a 98%er? Of course. Are there 1 to 2%ers I've been around? Of course, but they're very, very, very rare. Out of 150, let's just 98%ers that I've hung out with over 5 years. Let's just say I'm saying those average. Probably 150 or 150, 200. That's like 3 dates a month at the time. 4 dates a month. Yeah, for 4 years, whatever. I have come across probably 3 1 to 2%ers. Tell me what those odds are. I put a perm in my hair to impress this chick at my job 6 years ago. Wrong. See, there you go. Let Jerron tell you. Thought a married chick at work liked me. She wanted my attention, wants to give me her hugs. I thought it was weird. Married chicks at work are the biggest 304s. They're seeking additional extracurricular activity. Do not be that activity. That is my first rule. Very well, Robert. I'm going to get my book out here. Well, it'll be free. But I'm working on it. Women have work husbands. Yes, they do. Lisa Rad, all the way from Kansas City. I used to have an 8-track Peter, Paul, and Mary. Nice. It had Puff the Magic Dragon on it. Man, those 60s had some whacked out thinking. Puff the Magic Dragon. How much acid were they on? Getting forced to get the jab in about 10 minutes. Ooh. Tyranny for 300 Trebek. Oh, Clifford. Sorry you got to go through it. Maybe it's for work or military or whatever, but geez. Men have a 0% success rate of defeating an HR claim. That is the truth. One of my associates was known for dating women at his job. I remember one time when he said that, I can't let her go. I told him, dude, that's not your honeypot. He's married. The almighty peace leave. Does Biden ride the CC? He might have in the past, but I don't think he even knows how to even tie his shoes together to even get on top of the CC or to get to get to the carousel. I did date that same girl, and it wasn't a very good choice. Everyone in our business, I almost got fired due to an argument. Yep, you're absolutely right, Jerome. Doesn't work out, does it? My friends used to spread rumors about chicks from our clique. Said they all banged the boss and got STDs. Don't know if it was true or not, but I didn't want to find out. I knew people that were nailing the boss, my male boss, and they all got shit canned. I'd rather work at a job where there's no attractive women, would make it easier, than I would say go into construction. We need more of these live chats with you, buddy. Keep them coming, as all the opinions and yourself are very informative to us. Thank you for being here. I love to hear from others. We learn from one another. We learn from one another. Gents, don't make things complicated and painful. Just do what you want when you want and ignore what other people think. I have more options than ever. Adios. That, my friend, is MGTOW. That is a man that has seen the light, that says, I'm the captain. If I don't want you in your life, you're out. Eat it. Never get involved with a chick that you work with ever. Do you believe Fresh Prince CEO smashed 1,000 women? Maybe in his dreams. You get that jab. You know how many 1,000 women is? Come on, dude. That's a lot. 100 is a lot. 50 is a lot. You get that jab, they can now track you through nanoparticles. You're absolutely right, guys. This has been a wonderful live stream. I'm out. Rebel against defeat. Chase excellence. Masculine men first. Guard your hearts. Guard your wallets. Take your red pills daily. I'm out.